Schedule a Zoom with me at GCExperts.com/Zoom.
Can you see me?
Hi, Phillip.
How are you?
Fantastic. How can I help you?
How can I help you?
I'm pretty sure I don't need any help. I don't know. What are you offering?
I use all the help I can get. That's what I do. So where's 512? Where are you located?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, the great state of Texas. I love it.
Yeah, you never have to ask a Texan where he's from. He'll tell you.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, man. It's awesome. Yeah. So good. So what do you, I'm kind of curious about this, to be truthful with you. We haven't done much direct government work, to be truthful with you. I think it's something we'd like to do. I mean, I'm a vet myself, so I'm very partial to the government work. Providing it's profitable and everything. But yeah, so I think I'm interested in see what you guys. I assume you guys are the link or the navigator for us to get government work. That's my assumption. I mean, I assume that's how you make your money.
Yeah, you're making a big assumption there. This happens from time to time. People schedule a Zoom with me thinking, I'm going to go in there and see what this guy offers. And he's going to say, so if you buy my shit for $19.99, I'm going to show you the 7 key steps to be successful in the Fed. Some people think they're walking into a sales meeting. That's not what you walked into.
Good.
I've done over 1,000.
That makes me feel better, if you want the truth.
I've done over 1,000 federal government construction contracts. I've done over $1 billion worth of work for the United States federal government, made over $300 million over my career. I'm not selling jack shit to anybody.
Good. I love it.
Now that you say you love it, you're about to get virtually kicked in the teeth over a Zoom.
Okay, good.
And here's why. When you've done it, if you go out tomorrow and you get a $100,000 contract and you go back to your office and you put it in your filing cabinet, can anybody in the whole wide world legally walk into your office, open up your filing cabinet and go, holy shit, Phillip, you got a $100,000 contract?
Right.
I asked you a question.
No.
The answer is no, because that's private. But every federal contract is public information. Would you agree with that?
Agree.
Okay. So when I say I've done 1,000 federal contracts, over $1 billion worth of work for the federal government, do you think I'd ever lie about any of them?
I wouldn't think so. No, I wouldn't think so.
Somebody could look that shit up and call me a liar.
Yeah.
Okay. The people that I've taught this to, when they go out and get a federal contract, public information or private?
Public.
That's right. Would I ever lie about their contracts?
I wouldn't think so, no.
Probably not, right?
Yeah. Right.
Now, let's talk about indisputable proof. Indisputable means you can't call me a liar. I created a website page. It's at GCExperts.com/proof. You can look that up after we get off the call. But if you go look at that page, there's a dozen videos of guys saying, oh my God, that's the expert. And I'm in the video. But underneath the video is a big red box. That box takes you to usaspending.gov. That's their public profile, not my website, the government's website.
Okay.
And it shows that they've won federal contracts. If you add all that shit up across just 10 of my clients, it's over $500 million. $500 million.
A lot of money.
Okay. Now, after I virtually kick you in the teeth, we're going to have a little bit better, a cooler conversation. But I have to do this first because people think they're coming in here for a sales call, and they're not. That's not what this is. But you're uneducated coming into this call.
Absolutely.
Meaning My AI sent you a text message that said, watch this video prior to your Zoom with Sean. I know you didn't watch that video.
No, I didn't know.
Okay. Well, I know that.
Yeah.
And look, if you did $5 million worth of work last year, whether you did or didn't, I don't know. And I can't prove whether you did or not. You can lie to me, but I can't lie to you about work because your work's private, mine's public. Okay. But I know how to do $1 billion worth of work with the federal government. I'm assuming you don't.
True.
And once you educate somebody, it can be reproduced. In other words, if I stripped all your money, your office, all your resources away, you can get almost right back to where you're at pretty quickly because you know what it took to get there.
Right. Yeah, the path. Right.
That's right. I know the path to $1 billion worth of work with the federal government because I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I can help you. But all I ask ahead of time is watch one video for 1 hour. Because if somebody's not willing to spend an hour sitting down and watching that video,
Yeah.
I don't want to work with them.
Yeah. I agree with you. Absolutely agree
Okay. Now, that's the end of the virtual kick in the teeth.
with you. Okay. That's
We're
not so
here.
bad.
Let's talk about some cool things. One cool thing. Yes or no question. Have you ever heard of a SAM registration?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to play a 5th grade level game, but I need to make sure you understand this. I'm going to give you the answer to the question before I ask you the question. The answer is SAM registration. Ready to play?
Okay. Let's go.
There's one thing and one thing only required to be a federal contractor, and that is a...
SAM registration.
So if you sell cake mix to the Navy so they can make cakes on ships, what do you need?
SAM registration.
If you sell bullets or aircraft parts or even construction goods and services, what do you need?
SAM registration.
Okay, now we're going to play the other part of the game. I'm going to give you 3 scenarios. Scenario number 1. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician in the state of... What state are you in?
Connecticut.
In the state of Connecticut. Okay, that has nothing to do with the company that got the job. But you would have to coordinate a licensed electrician in the state of Connecticut to replace the transformer. Scenario number 2. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician. Well, now any licensed electrician from any state can go into Connecticut and replace the transformer. Understand, this is federal eminent domain property. No such thing as a state inspector going onto a federal job.
So let me ask you a question. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let me play that back to make sure I understand. So I live in Connecticut. We're licensed in Connecticut. Okay. But what you're saying is if there's a job in New York just over the line, which is about 20 miles from here, okay, and it's on federal property, I think what you're saying is we could do that job because we're electricians. Is that what you're saying? Or did I misunderstand?
You misunderstood, and
Okay.
so I'm going to drive it home again. Okay, scenario number 1. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician in the state of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Okay. It has nothing to do with the company that got the job.
Understood. They can outsource it.
You can outsource it. Scenario number 2. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician. Now, any licensed electrician from any state, from Texas, can go into Connecticut. Okay.
So I understand. Okay.
Scenario number 3. The transformer shall be replaced. That literally means you and I can go out there on Saturday and replace the transformer. Okay? Me and my brother, who've never done any electrical work in our lives.
Yeah, got
Okay?
it.
All right. It gets written all 3 ways all the time, but it has nothing to do with the company that got the job. All they needed was a SAM registration. And that's how I can tell you I've done 1,000 federal contracts, over $1 billion worth of work. I've done wind tunnels for NASA, water treatment plants for the Air Force, power plants for the Navy on an island off the coast of California. I've worked on 4 presidents' homes. I've even replaced the carpet at the top of the St. Louis Arch. I've done dozens of kitchen renovations, probably 100 roofs for the National Park Service and other agencies. I have never had a license of any kind other than a driver's license.
Okay.
Okay. Now there's another part of this. I need you to Google I need you to Google FAR, FAR 13.004. When you Google it, don't click the first search result. We're going to talk about it.
Okay. What are we doing now? Is that what you're saying?
Say again?
Are you asking me to do it right now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Come on. Great tabs open here. There we go. FAR.
13.004. FAR stands for Federal Acquisition Regulations. It's the rule book for doing work with the federal government.
Okay.
One rule book, one federal government. So when you Google FAR 13.004, what's the first search result?
Go back here. It says the legal effects of quotations.
Great. Stop right there. If you go out tomorrow in your business and you give 100 quotes to some commercial owners, is there anything legal about them, or are they just quotes?
Quotes only.
That's right. But in the federal government, the first search result says legal effect of a quotation, implying that there's something legal associated with a quote with the federal government as opposed to your world.
Something binding.
Say again?
Something binding.
I'm not saying whether it's binding or not. I'm saying it's something legal associated.
Okay.
Hold on just 1 second. My wife.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I gave you a water because you sound.
Oh, is that what this is? A water? I didn't know.
open.
Thank you.
Take a sip.
Okay.
There. Okay, now you can continue.
My wife's giving me shit. She says I'm over speaking, I guess.
No, you're fine. You're doing good. Good job.
Implying there's something legal. Now, I want you to click that link and don't look. I can tell you're a sharp guy, which is why I've stopped the kicking in the teeth, and we're going to move on. But don't move forward. I want you to read the first sentence out loud. Stop at the period.
Okay. 13.004 legal effect of quotations. A, in parentheses, a quotation is not an offer and consequently cannot be accepted by the government to form a binding contract.
Stop right there. A quote is not an offer and consequently cannot be used to form a binding contract. In other words, when you turn in a quote to the federal government, they cannot take your quote and turn it into a contract. It's the first sentence of the legal effect of a quotation, okay? So that's different than your world where if you sign a quote and you give it to an owner and he signs it, what do you now have?
You got a deal.
A contract.
That's right.
Okay. But in the federal government, you give them a signed quote, they can't sign it and turn it into a contract. That's the first sentence of the legal effect of a quotation. And that's
All right, let me just
different.
I want to make a note here because I want to go back to that after I.
Oh, you don't even need to take a note because the video that you were supposed to watch teaches this in much greater detail than
Okay.
I'm teaching it to you now.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, read the second sentence out loud and stop at the period.
Okay, let me open it up. Then I didn't open it up yet. Okay. Therefore, issuance by the government of an order in response to a supplier's quotation does not establish a contract.
Now, that's a little bit of legalese. It's not intended for you to understand it on the first read, but I'm going to explain it to you. Congress, when they wrote all this shit, they were worried that every procurement official wouldn't understand sentence number 1. And they got worried that someday some procurement official was going to take your quote and turn it into a contract, even though sentence number 1 says you can't do that. So they wrote sentence number 2 to tell you that if that ever happens to you, don't worry about it. It's still not a contract. Now that I've explained number 2 to you, do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to find out how to actually take a quote and turn it into a contract. Read the rest of the paragraph out loud.
The order is an offer by the government to the supplier to buy certain supplies or services upon specified terms and conditions. A contract is established when the supplier, meaning me, accepts the offer.
That's right, meaning you. Now, again, this is legalese. It's not meant for everybody to understand it. So let me explain to you how it works in real life. Let's say that the National Park Service wants to build a 200 square foot tiny house somewhere up in Connecticut to put their park rangers up for the winter. They have to put it out for a public bid. Me, as a federal contractor, I come across the solicitation. I turn in a bid for $100,000. They can't take my quote and turn it into a contract, right?
Correct.
So what they actually have to do is they have to offer back to me my offer.
Your offer. Yeah.
It's weird. But I get a phone call from the government and they say, hey, we got your offer for $100,000. Would you please do this contract for what you said you would? Now, this is the part where you want to write shit down. You have 4 options.
Fine.
Number 1, you can accept. Yeah, we'll take the job. Number 2, you can withdraw. Sorry, we're too busy. Go on to the next guy. Number 3, you can negotiate. Yeah, I know I turned that thing in for 100 grand. We're actually going to need 130. And number 4, you can stall for more time. Sorry, I wasn't expecting your call. Can I call you back in 24 to 48 hours? Now, before I start talking to you about what the next step is, well, let's just go straight into
Can I
it.
ask you a question for mine?
Go ahead.
Your experience using your $100,000 example, how often or how frequently, or maybe on a percentage perspective, does the U.S. government come back and say, we'll take your 100, or do they come back and say, your 100 is too high, we need 90? I'm picking up a number. I assume it's, we got your 100, but we really need it done for 90. Can you do that? I assume that's probably more prevalent than the 100, I guess.
Phillip, do I have your attention?
You do.
Okay. I want you to understand the caliber of guy that you're talking to. All right. Hold on just a second and just listen.
Yeah.
Call Trip.
Calling Trip.
Hey, Sean, what do you need?
I'm speaking to a fella named Phillip up in Connecticut. Can you explain to him who you are and what you do for me?
Sure, I'd be happy to explain. Philip, I'm Trip, Sean's AI project manager at GCExperts. I help Sean and his team with federal contracting, finding opportunities, analyzing bids, preparing forms like the SF 1442, reviewing plans and specs, assisting with pricing strategy, and even generating project schedules. Essentially, I'm Sean's go-to AI for managing the ins and outs of federal construction projects.
Find me a fucking awesome job for between $200,000 and $500,000 that is available to bid today in the upper northeast of the country, and then give me 3 options that I can look at.
Got it. Let me pull up some great options for you in the upper northeast between 200,000 and 500,000. One sec. Here are 3 solid options in the upper northeast, though a couple are just under your target range. First, in New York, bid tracker number 146864, a structural load frame procurement and installation for the Army at West Point, estimated around 150,000 to 275,000, due August 18th. Second, in Connecticut, bid tracker number 146817, a stormwater project for the Navy, Design bid build P11002, due August 19th. Third, in New Hampshire, bid tracker number 144616, a roof improvement project for the Forest Service, estimated between $100,000 and $250,000, due August 17th. Want to dive into the details of one of these?
Yeah, describe to me the schedule of work for that roofing job.
Let me pull up the details on that roofing job schedule of work. One moment. Here's the schedule of work for that roofing job. After the contract is awarded, the contractor must submit a full scope of work and schedule within 1 week. Daily updates are required to be provided to the contracting officer representative. Also, weekly updates are to be summarized and submitted. The foreman must be on site at all times during the work, and laborers must be under the supervision of the foreman. The actual tasks include inspecting the water damaged area, removing and saving existing standing seam roofing panels, disconnecting and removing snow melt heaters, removing and disposing of damaged materials, around 700 square feet of sheathing, insulation, and underlayment, installing new sheathing, high heat ice and water shield, and new flashing, reinstalling the existing standing seam roof panels with new matching panels for any damaged ones, replacing damaged roof boots, reinstalling the roof heaters and reconnecting power, applying 18 inches of spray foam insulation, and finally, removing all debris protection from the attic. Let me know if you want to explore any more details or if there's another job you'd like to dig into.
I'd like you to create your own independent estimate for that job and then tell me the number and then email me an estimate.
Let's get that estimate going. Give me a sec while I generate the numbers for this roofing job. The estimate is between $140,000 and $180,000. That's out the door. Check your inbox in a minute. Let me know if you need anything else on this.
What do you think the sweet spot would be?
From what we've got, the sweet spot would likely be around the midpoint, somewhere in the $160,000 to $170,000 range. That would cover the key costs, add a bit of contingency, and still stay competitive. That's where I'd aim for a well-balanced bid.
Thanks, Trip.
You're welcome. Sean, anything else you want to go over right now?
You ever heard any shit like that in your life?
No, I haven't actually. Not without a lot of work, you know.
Look, you didn't walk into a sales call. Did you hear anything related to sales in this?
No, I didn't know.
Okay. I won't work with people that won't sit down and spend 1 hour watching a video.
Okay.
So that said, you got my attention. If you got some question, look, if you can withdraw, if one of your options is to withdraw every bid you ever turned in, what is your risk for turning in a bid?
Right. Zero at the end of the day.
Have you ever heard of no risk construction?
No.
Okay, you only get something like that by having a conversation with me. There's some things in life that you can't learn, you'll never learn unless somebody points it out to you and says, "Hey, Phillip, read this." I'm that guy.
Okay.
So if you want to, get into the federal government construction world, you can do it yourself and spend 30 years in the business like I did, or you can take a shortcut.
Right.
But the shortcut starts with watching a 1 hour video. And the
Yeah.
reason is the guy that I was talking to, he was really prepared. When he came into this Zoom, he asked me like 100 questions. And I answered every single one of them. I mean, boom, 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 boom. And you get to see me think in real time, right? Because I didn't know what the questions were going to be. And I also teach Federal Acquisition 13.004 in that video. But then I also explained to him what bid tracker is and how it works. And if you don't know what bid tracker is, obviously you saw a major advanced version of that wasn't available at the time that I did that video. AI is new.
Yeah.
I invested $250,000 building the world's greatest AI related to construction. What you just saw is an example of it.
So let me ask you this. It's a little bit of a subject shift. So just hang in there with me.
Sure.
So with your AI trip person, okay, for lack of a better word, when you're asking him to estimate, the cost on this, there must be, again, I'm thinking out loud here, okay, this is based upon my experience, okay. He has a set of prints somewhere, and he's got some technology that allows him to review these prints to make sure you get the right cost. Like take an electrical job. I'll just use that. Okay, we need 10 lights in, new wire, new breakers, new boxes, switches, blah blah blah. And it's according to these prints. I assume you've got some AI software somewhere that could bring that together for trip, as they say. Am I yes, no, halfway
He
there?
can tell you 172 feet of conduit.
Yeah, okay. Then he does. Okay, good. Yeah, all right. That's good. That's good to know. I mean, it's good to know. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, all right. Got it. Got it. So I'll watch your video. To be honest with you, I will. I mean, I'm interested. I think you've kind of piqued my not kind of you have piqued my interest more. I think because of your level of expertise. To be fair, I mean, just from where I sit, I got to be honest with you. Um, I mean, you could just imagine we're electrical guys, and I'm sure the plumbing guys, everybody else, we get bombarded with this stuff. It comes in our email like in droves. I mean, sometimes you can't even keep up with the stuff, to be honest with you, right? So you kind of got to you got to filter this stuff, and like we want to learn, but we want to learn from the right people. We don't want to learn from a sales guy trying to sell us something that we don't really need, and then we waste 2 hours doing it. Does that make any sense? What I'm saying or not?
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what the answer to that is. All I know is that I refuse to be the fucking guy. And it goes, so if you buy my shit by the end of August,
That's good. Believe me.
that stuff drives me nuts.
Yeah, I get it. So let me do this. I'll watch a video, okay? And that because of our discussion, because I think I'll learn a little bit more about this, okay? I'm no expert in it. In fact, I'm not even close to being an expert, okay? I'm Neanderthal in this. But I don't want to
Well, look,
spend
I'll
30
just tell
years
you
doing
this.
this either.
You got almost 500 agencies for the federal government and only one rule book. You got the National Park Service, National Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Coast Guard, Navy, Army, Space Force, EPA, USDA. They all own buildings across the United States. 1 million buildings. Okay?
Is that what it is? 1 million buildings?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
If you add that shit up and divide it by a 20-year roof lifespan, that's the reason I had him target the roofing job.
Yeah.
Any federal contractor, 10% of their business is going to be roofing because the government is replacing 50 roofs a day.
Yeah.
A day.
It's unbelievable. It's like one in every state.
Don't go into this thinking I'm an electrical guy, okay? Because look, in your business every day, you're running conduit, pulling cable, tying shit in, building panels, etc. But the job might be switchgear or a motor control center in California,
Right.
okay? The job might be replacing a roof in Connecticut. I've lived in Austin, Texas nearly all my life. I've only ever done one job in Austin, Texas. It was to replace a cooling tower at the IRS here in Austin. Okay.
Hmm.
All my jobs were all across the country.
Have you, when you get a job, say in the state of Washington, do you actually yourself travel to the job site or no? Not at all.
When I was young, I did, because dad was saying, I mean, fuck, man, I was 15 years old. I backtalked my mom. Dad was on a federal contract somewhere in the Midwest. She calls him on one of those 1986 brick phones and says, your son is backtalking me. He says to my mom, stick him on an airplane to Palm Springs, California. I'll take it from there. He calls out to a superintendent on a job at 29 Palms Marine Corps Base. Mom sticks me on an airplane. Within 6 hours of back-talking my mom, I'm in an attic on a Marine Corps base insulating ductwork for the next all summer.
That cured you, huh?
I mean, I got into this business at a young age, went to college, and then, my first federal contract was that power plant at San Clemente Island. They were doing an upgrade to the controls system on 5 locomotive engines that were tied to, I think they were Generac generators. I can't remember, it was a long time ago, but they generate all the power on the island from massive diesel locomotive engines, and they run 4 on, and the 5th one is always being repaired, so they rotate them through. But anyway, that was my first big job. That was an $8 million job for the Navy, and then after that I went to San Francisco and did a heating unit in the basement of a 3-story building. I don't know, it was $100,000 job. I'll never forget. I was 21 years old by that time, and they dropped the heating unit off on a flatbed in the parking lot. And I'm like, well, who the fuck is supposed to go install this thing? So I call 1-800-DAD, right? and I go, hey, Dad, they dropped this heater off. How's it? It won't even fit through the doorways to get down into the basement. And he goes, okay, you'll figure it out. Click. That was my introduction to sink or swim.
And you swam. Or your doggy paddles, one of the two,
something like that. But
so
next thing
I'll watch
you know,
a video, and then I think let me do that, and then I will reach back out to you guys. Does that sound like a fair path? Is it?
Philip, you can do anything you want.
It won't be that. It won't be that long. Trust me.
That AI that you interacted with, Mark Weston, to get you into this Zoom, if you just text him and say, I watched the video, he'll get you into my very next Zoom slot, and we'll talk. Okay. And I tell you what, we'll have a much better conversation once you understand the program that we developed to launch guys like you into this market.
How many guys do you have launched? If you mind me asking. Probably
150 guys over the last 15 years, about 10 a year.
10 a year, so one a month, almost. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, sincerely, I do. And I think I learned something. Listen, I'm 66. You can always learn something, right?
Yeah.
You really can. And
well, I always tell people you only have to make 2 decisions in any conversation with me. Number 1, am I full of shit or not? Because if you decide I'm full of shit, no reason to go to number 2. But the other part is personalities. I'm pretty abrasive personality. I'm not the guy that says, it's okay, Philip, you'll get the next one. You'll never hear that from me. It's always going to be, hey, this is the actionable strategy that you need to use in order to accomplish that, A, B, and C, because I've been there, done that. Look, I answer my phone every time it rings under 2 conditions. I'm awake and I can hear it.
Yeah.
But the reason I do that is because contractors, when we go to bed at night, we're thinking, oh my God, I hope the conduit shows up, or I hope the cabling shows up. There's things that go through our heads that when we reach out to an expert, we need him to be right there with me every time, because we're in the construction industry. We have different concerns that your best friend can't help you with. Your best friend can say, "Oh man, Phillip, that sucks. I hope it works out." But somebody who's been there can offer you strategic advice on what to do next.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree.
And that's really what I am to my clients. For the rest of my life, I only want to do two things. I want to answer questions and solve problems on federal contracts. That's what I'm passionate about.